Good morning, yogis. We have got 1 minute before we begin. I'm all here nice and rugged up because we've got these glorious chilly mornings going on. And at some point in time during the practice, I'm looking forward to the rubbish van coming. So if you hear a bit of a rumble throughout our practice today, that might be just the machinations of everyday life continuing to operate around us as we come into practice. So in these 30 seconds before we get started, if you've not taken your rubbish out and you live in the local area, now is the perfect opportunity to do that. And then come onto your mat. Let's get ready to begin our practice. With the day dawning around me and the earth smell just rising up, that smell of gently wet grass that just lingers in the nostrils and really grounds me in these moments, is such a beautiful reminder that no matter what is happening in the world, it is the small joys that continue to help us move forward, to remind us and to bring us back into the presence of the moment. There are always going to be fluctuations and changes, and that's such a challenging thing for our nervous system. We like certainty. It's such a safe and comforting place. So as the river of life travels us in new directions, and sometimes we're that bit resistant to having to redirect our flow, if you can find these little touchstones, just the light as it dawns in the morning and the beauty of nature and the essence of breath, this can be the most glorious gift to helping you to stay balanced. And with those thoughts in mind, let's come into our breath work this morning. We'll balance the mind. We'll start with a little of our alternate nostril breathing. I really like this practice when I'm feeling in any way kind of out of balance, because it does such a beautiful job of balancing the different elements of our nature. We use Ida and Pingala, those two spiraling channels of energy, our yang and our yin energy. And when we work them together by working through right and left sides of the body, we find this melding, this coming into essence, samacidity, equal balance between the parts of our nature, the parts of our mind. So let's start by taking like our index finger, and some people, so like index finger and thumb. I like pinky finger and thumb for this one. I always feel like I'm doing a bit of a radical gesture here. And we're just going to close down our left nostril and breathe in through the right nostril. So take a deep breath in, gather the breath down the length of the spine as you inhale. And then we're going to block both the nostrils, and we're going to hold here with the breath just at the top, at the summit. As we exhale, we'll release the left nostril and slowly draw all the air out. As you exhale, feel yourself come into the moment. As you inhale, draw the breath into the left nostril. Feel it ride down the back of the spine as the energy lifts. Hold at the suspension of the inhale. Pause, and then release the right nostril and slowly exhale all the air out. Inhale through the right. Pause and hold. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Pause and hold. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Hold at the top, both nostrils closed. Exhale to the left. Inhale through the left. Pause at the top. Exhale to the right. Inhale through the right. Pause at the top. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the left. Pause at the top. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the right. Pause at the top. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the left. Pause at the top. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the right. Pause at the top. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the left. Pause at the top. Exhale to the right. 4 more rounds. Inhale to the right. Pause at the top. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the left. Pause at the top. Exhale to the right. Inhale to the right. Pause at the top. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the left. Pause at the top. Exhale at the right. Inhale to the right. Pause at the top. Exhale to the left. Pause. Inhale to the left. Pause at the top. Exhale to the right. Final round. Inhale to the right. Pause at the top. Exhale to the left. Pause for a moment. Inhale to the left. Hold at the top. Exhale to the right. Hold. Let the hands fall down. Do you notice a shifting? Anything that's changed? Any more of an integration of the different parts of your nature? So in this place of peace and balance, we'll move into our practice this morning. Let's scoot it around, come all the way onto all fours. Bring those knees underneath and reach the hands out in front and lower yourself into a child's pose. Drift down, let the fingers walk forward and feel all the way from the fingertips to the shoulders, down the long line of the spine to the tail. The breath open up the back body. The exhales lower you to the earth. Relax the nervous system. Add any tension of the night. When we're ready, we'll inhale and rise it forwards, bend the fingers and come straight into a downward facing dog. So pedal those feet out as you draw your weight into the inner part of the hand. Just shake the head a little, free up the neck. Set the feet wide as your mat maybe, or at least hip distance apart. Turn the heels out slightly, toes in slightly. It's less pressure on the knees. It gives you that nice little chance to stretch the calves more fully. A little bit of pumping here is always nice. And then we'll pause. Keep the left knee bent. Press the right heel down to the floor. Press the earth away. Moving from the head of the shoulders into the hands. And then lift up your tail as you draw your navel in to get the sit bones high. Breathe. Pause. And relax. Other side. Bend that
knee, press down to that left heel. Push the earth away as you draw the navel in and create space in the back. Free the neck if you need to. 5. Keep working through those arms. Don't go lazy. 3. And then dropping into the joints, so keeping active. 2. And then when you're ready, 1. Bend into both of the knees. Straighten both of the legs up. And then begin to walk the feet towards the hands. Nice and slow. Walk, walk, walk. When the feet come hip distance apart, we'll bend the knees. We'll grab a hold of opposite elbows. We'll just let the weight drop down into the thighs. Let go of the back of the neck. Free it up. Little shakes here. And just feeling the into the back of the legs. Come into an upward salute. Keep the bend in the knees just as you warm them up. Let the hands rise all the way up high to the sky. Maybe let the gaze lift. And all the way from the feet to the fingers, feel the body stretch. And just turn around to the front as we take a little side bend here. Step the feet together. Toes touch, inner tip of the knees meet. Grab a hold of your right hand with your left. Clasp it onto that wrist. And then press your hips over towards the right as you stretch your body to the left. Pull the right shoulder onto the back to keep openness through the front body. Press it out as you feel all the way from the ankle to the wrist slowly grow. Inhale to come to center. Swap the hands over. As you exhale, begin to work with the breath. Hips to the left, hands to the right. Open through the heart. Spreading the shoulders onto the back. Let the gaze lift up. Feel the belly draw in. Find your mula bandha. Engage through the glutes as well. Weight slightly back into the heels. Counterintuitive, but it will make you feel more grounded and balanced. For 3 and 2. All the way up. Plant the feet of the toes of the left foot as you draw the right knee into the chest. Think of wind relieving pose. As we draw the knee up, we'll release out into that hip flexor. We'll find our balance. Drop the shoulders from the ears, lift the heart, navel in. And now, to work the core, no hands. Just hover that leg in space. Maybe a few times take it forward and draw it in. Let the inhale reach it out. The exhale, draw it in. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, reach it out. Keep opening across the heart. Exhale, draw it in. One more time. Inhale, reach it out and hold. And then we're going to swing it behind, bring the hands forward. So moving from the fulcrum of the hips, bring yourself into warrior 3. Maybe you're just coming into a balancing tree pose. So stop halfway. If you can, come all the way down, turn your body into a T shape. Reach out through toes and fingers as the hands come into Kali Mudra. And take a deep breath. Draw the weight back, slightly move the body forward with a big breath, reaching from toes to fingertips like an arrow. When you're ready, we'll slowly rise all the way back up. Draw the knee into the chest and just lean backwards for a moment. So open up the chest, little back bend here. For 3 and 2 and 1. We'll plant the right foot down on the floor. We'll gather the left knee into the chest. So think of scooping up from the abdomen. Bring the hands in. Don't mind me if it looks a bit wonky on this side. There's a battery pack in my way. So as you come all the way up, shoulders come down away from the ears. Find a little moment to connect. So you've got that balance, turning the whole of the right leg. And then we're going to extend out and in. Think of moving from the core and in. Inhale to press the foot out. Exhale to draw it in. Press it out. Draw it in. Press it out. Draw it in one more time. Press it out. Draw it in. All right, from here, we're going to bring the foot back. Take a wobbling, nope, we're going to draw the, I did that. We're going to come into a wobbling tree pose perhaps, just moving part of the way forward, or come all the way into our Vibhandrasana 3. Let the hands meet, bring the chin to the chest, turn the body into the T shape, and then take a breath all the way from the fingertips to the toes. Pull the right hip back, turn the inner tip of the left knee in to help you balance across the back of the hips. Notice if you're tensing through the breath, Let's find it here for 5 and 4. Always good to kick up the heart rate. 3, 2, and 1. As we inhale, we'll rise. Whoa, that legs is getting heavy now. Scoop the hands back around and lean back. Press the hips forward. A lot of back bends come from that motioning forward of the hip flexors. Whew. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant both the feet down. Oh, how good does it feel to stand on the floor? Let the hands come into the back and just press forward for a moment. Beautiful. We're going to come up onto those toes. So we're going to take our Utkatasana chair pose on our toes. So think about lifting up the kneecaps, rise up so the heels come off the floor. Or maybe today you're just balancing here. There's a little bend like your bottom is reaching back for an invisible chair. The hands are going to rise slightly above the chest. Roll the shoulders onto the back. Brace through the core. Can you sit down into that invisible chair? Now that's okay. We're trying to keep the heels high. If they come down, that's fine. We're just playing with our body, feeling that stretch into the toes, drawing the navel in. Find that Muladhara. For 3, 2. Next one's called palm tree pose. We're going to keep the toes balancing on the floor as we lift the heels up. Come all the way up. Open your arms out and imagine you're a palm tree. All right, bring the feet all the way down. We'll take palm tree pose, but this time we'll take the toes together. Less broad base, a little bit harder work. Lift up through the sternum. Find that engagement of the trunk. Let the hands rise up as you come to balance on the toes. Feel the breath work all the way from the top of the hands down to the feet. Imagine your body as one long column and breathe into its full capacity. Fingers to toes, rise up, lift the chin. 3, 2. The calves are not liking that this morning. 1, come all the way down. And now we're going to squat down. So you might need a little bit of space in your feet. Squat all the way down, open the knees out to the side. So we're going to reach the heels back as we reach the hands forward. So a nice little stretch out here. Chin tucks in. If you are flexible enough, one of the options is to bring the hands around. You can balance and then pose and curl the body into a tight little ball. Think of working with the exhale as you move the space, as you move the breath out of the belly, there's more space to curl and round in through. 3, 2, 1. Hands come forward. Just come back to rest on the seat. Draw the knees into the chest. Let's find boat pose. Bring the toes up, shoulders onto the back. And this might be enough for you today. Maybe come into a twisted boat. Just bring that left hand back and around. Keep the right hand forward. It's a little bit harder when we're not holding onto the hands because all of the work has to come from the core. I can feel that. So we're trying to find an expanse across the arms, or even just bring that arm to 45 degrees. As you inhale, bring the hand all the way up high. Just use that length of the left hand to remind the spine to grow tall, and then float it back. Let's do the right side. Knees into the chest. Slowly swing that right hand back. Let your gaze follow your thumb. Breathe. Maybe it's just 45 degrees. Notice if you're tensing through the corners of the eyes and gritting the teeth. That's our ego trying to effort its way through. It's okay. If you need to bring the feet down, that's okay. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise with breath. Good morning, body. I'm certainly aware of my core right now. Can you feel that fire beginning in your Manipura, your third chakra? Let your heart open here. Draw your feet in. Open them out nice and wide. Now you can, rock the weight forward. There's a really good incentive not to fall back. On this one, I don't want to get all dewy on my back. And then you can hold for a few moments. You can clap the toes together and open them out. So a nice way to work into those adductors, but without having to put your feet on the floor. In and out. You never know what's coming. In and out. In, out. Draw them in. Soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. So it's going to feel really nice as you just allow your body to hinge forward. Tuck the chin in. Let's get a little bit juicy and hold for this one. If you need more space, and sometimes because I know that there's a lot of flexibility through the hips and the greens with me, I bring the feet forward because there's more tension for my body in those outer hip regions. So have a little play and feel where your body needs the feet to be. So if you're really working on getting those knees to the floor, maybe the heels are coming in slightly to the groin. We're in a yang practice, so we are working muscularly. One coffee away from good pronunciation this morning. We are working with our muscles, so it's okay to feel that contraction, different to a yin yoga. Exhale, settle it down, drop, drop, drop towards the floor. And enjoy working with your breath. In a moment or two, we'll let ourselves come out of the pose. We'll take a little counterbalance. Let's come into a reverse tabletop or a reverse plank. Swing the hands around, roll the shoulders onto the back, take the legs forward. Maybe you've got the feet hip distance apart. So this is a little bit easier. As we bend into the elbows, we lift everything up. We find that balancing point. You can look forward, press the earth away, maybe even take your gaze to the sky. If you feel like you want just that little bit more heat this morning, take the legs out, try and touch the toes to the floor, rise the chest up and breathe. All the way from toes to crown and pressing the earth away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. My favorite way to work the triceps is just to bring those hands and we turn them around the other way. Nope. We have them in. This is a good one to do on a block, and just bend your elbows and lift your chest up as you take the weight back and begin to draw the shoulder blades together like you're squeezing a pencil in between them. You'll feel, and you take some weight back, that you're working the triceps, but you're not having to load too much weight into the wrists. Now take a little bracing through your core. Make sure you're not overworking through the pelvic floor. A gentle engagement. Pull the hip points together as you engage the transverse abdominis. Let the chin lift up for a moment or two. Drop it back a little bit more. Can you feel some heat beginning to burn into the back of your arms? If not, then you can do those little pulses if you need a little bit more. So I'm always mindful of my wrists here because, hello mosquito. Oh, do not eat me. One-armed. This is called the mosquito wave. I've just invented new yoga. Better do some mosquito waving on the other side. Go away, mosquito. Perfect time to invest in some nice organic oils to get rid of those little pests that might come and bother you in your practice. Let the heart lift. 3, 2, 1. Come forward. Shake those arms out. Give the wrists a little release. So go opposite way. Both ways. Open and in. Little starburst through the fingers. Alright, let's set up for a side plank. Swing it around. We'll come onto the forearm for this one. Vashisthasana is not most people's favourite pose. Elbows out to the side. The feet are going to be in one long line. As we brace into the core, we'll step the right foot forward. Just have a little bit of space between the leg and the heel. Engage to the side body. Maybe just lifting up here and bringing a little bit of elevation into your bottom hip. And you'll feel that you're still working into the core here. Vashisthasana is the best pose for scoliosis, which I think is really fascinating because it works very effectively through the obliques and those muscles parallel to the spine. Draw the navel in, maybe stack your feet up. You can bring the hand over and bring it to 45 degrees if you want more. You can lift your top leg. You can do little all kinds of craziness. I'm just going to go for this variation today. This feels like where I want to be. 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. And let's do the other side. Swing it all the way over. underneath. Bring your body into one long line. Don't worry that I'm facing backwards. Step your left foot about halfway, engage to the core. Maybe take the left hand up and just stack the shoulder blades, and then work with the line of the neck being long. Maybe you're just pressing your bottom hip away from the floor, letting the heart shine forward. Work the breath into the back body as you gently lift up and find your Uddiyana and Mula Bandha, that gentle engagement of the energy locks. But again, only about 30%. Don't jam them on. It's just a little collection of energy into that belly space. We'll bring the left leg on top and feel the body maybe shaking. Shaking just means you're working hard. Your yoga teacher's usually smiling at you when you're shaking, because it means that you are engaging your effort. And in yang practice, we're dynamic, and that's okay. I know you're having a great time looking at my jumper here. 3, 2, maybe lift up for a moment, find a star shape. 2, 2, 2, and 1. Bring it all the way down. Swing it around, come into our here. Cobras. Going to be with us anymore. Come all the way up, lift the chin, and roll it. Shoulder blades down the back. And lift up, create that elevation of your heart. Smile. Into a little child's pose. Knees come back underneath. It's just going to give you that little slowly roll forward. Turn the fingers nice and wide. Lift the hips up and back. And pedal out the feet. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And the feet hip distance apart. In a moment, we're going to lift the right leg up. Come into a 3-legged downward facing dog. Lift that right leg up nice and high. As you exhale, round knee to nose, step the right foot forward. Let's set it up for warrior one. So keep the feet the span of the hips, bring the left toes out 45 degrees, bend into the right knee. As you inhale, balance across the hips, bring the hands up above the shoulders. Beautiful. Let your heart lift, draw your navel in, engage your glutes towards the floor. Warrior one. So embody Vibhandrasana, the warrior that fought for justice. All right, I'm just going to turn this around just so you can see what happens in the next part of the pose. So we've got our warrior. Now we're going to take a little bit of a twist into the body. So we're going to bring the hands forward, and then like you're pulling on a bowstring, draw all the way along the inner seam of the arms, reach and extend your gaze towards the back. As you inhale, lift the hand all the way up, turn and rotate your hips back towards the front. Now if you need to lift your back heel to take the pressure out of your knee, I invite you to do that. So you might want to lift up and bring the heel up, maybe the heels down, whatever feels most viable for your joints. Lift all the way up and over. One more time, open up, roll, roll, roll. Create that space across the chest. Let the heart be completely open, and then draw the hand over. Find your Vibhandrasana, and then dance your hands down to the floor, step it back, and let's come into a downward facing dog. Let's step it all the way back and pedal out those feet. We'll find a knees, chest, chin before we come to a second side. So we're going to drop the knees down to the floor. We'll keep the hips towards the heels. We'll just drop the heart down as we draw the chin forward. Elbows in, feel that nice curve into the back. Smell the grass. And then lift yourself up, slide yourself forward, and roll yourself into a cobra. Don't move your head around like me. That's not a good idea. I'm going to do it both sides now. So my neck is not unbalanced. Come all the way down. Press up, hips towards the heels. Downward facing dog. Pass through child. Step it all the way up. I'm simply going to swap it over. So we're ready for that second side. Prepare, find those 4 points of contact into the earth, balance upon each of them. As you inhale, left leg lifts up. As you exhale, knee to the nose, round it forward, curl, 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 and then step the foot towards. All right, plant the back foot, toes out to the side. Find your warrior one stance. As you inhale, let yourself rise all the way up, just making sure that left knee isn't traveling over left ankle. Draw your heart between your shoulders. Find your breath here. I'm feeling that little bit of vinyasa, getting the blood and the breath flowing. And doesn't that feel fabulous? Hands can come together. Just find that sense of purpose, that passion that the warrior pose embodies. And then let's come into some movement here to open up the chest. So we'll bring the hands down level with the shoulders, and then we'll slowly begin to open up across the chest, just making sure that front knee though doesn't open out over the ankle. As we inhale, there's a rolling forward. So turn from the hips, but just make sure you're not tensioning into that back heel or your back knee. And if you need to lift it, that's okay. Slowly turn, open, expand across the heart space, and then lift and return to center. One more time. Slowly open, turn, 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 expand, and let the hands come all the way back to me. Let the heart lift, and then we'll dive it down to the floor. Hands find the floor, step it back, downward facing dog. Pump out those feet, or pump out the feet. And then when you're ready, knees will find the floor. We'll come into knees, chest, chin. So knees are hip distance apart. Spread the fingers, let the chest come forward, draw the navel in, elbows back as you find the earth. An older variation of our chaturanga pose. Drawing the navel in, and then you can lift yourself up. I'm going to swing the legs back. The way up, let the chin lift, let the heart open, but draw the elbows behind you.
It'll actually bring more opening into the chest. Relax out to the neck. As you let yourself pose here. This time we'll open the knees out wider and we'll let the hips drop down. Come all the way up, bring the knees underneath the hips, bring the hands forward. Gently draw the navel in, brace to the core and press the hips forward. Draw the shoulders onto the back, engage all the way from the waist as you lift the chest up and imagine your jeans are too tight, so your belly is in. The chin's the last thing to lift, so you might want to bring the back bend in through the neck because that's the easiest part of the body to hinge, but we're working rather to stretch the body than take a particular shape. So maybe you're asking less of your body to more effectively utilize the strength that's there. But don't worry if it's not the deepest camel pose in the world. Think more about the lifting of the heart space, the moving forward of the hips, the bracing of the core and the gathering the shoulders onto the back. And you'll get all the benefits that this pose offers us in our practice. 3, 2, 1. Slowly move from that core center to bring yourself all the way up. Okay, now we're going to move and just take a little bit more rotation. So the hands are going to come up. We're going to inhale, lift the hand up. Now if this is too much, just take a little bend through the elbow so it's not over pressurizing that shoulder joint. Lift all the way up, bring your hand back, find your heel. So right hand towards right heel. And there's another new mosquito. The left hand comes up and we look to the sky. Now press yourself away. So you use your right hand simply as a point of leverage as you lift your heart up, press your hips forward and find 3 and 2 and 1. Hand comes down, use the core, lift yourself all the way back up. It's kind of like breaststroke, like you're going swimming. And then let the exhale, just pause for a moment. We should work with the inhale as we reach the hand all the way up. Turn it round, plant the hand into the heel, press the hips forward, look towards the back foot as you reach up and then maybe look up towards your thumb as long as it doesn't stress your neck here. And feel the rhythmic flow of breath in and out, relax out to the neck, press forward for 5, 4, engage to that core, 3, we need to be really stable, 2, 1, to practice safely here. Let yourself rise up. Oh. Whew. Let's bring it down. Swing the legs out in front and we'll take a forward fold. So we'll do this one a little bit differently. We're going to start with the belly and the thighs together. Grab a hold of your feet, but get your belly and your thighs hugging each other. Then you're supporting the spine. Then we'll walk the feet. And just let yourself come down. So I want this to give you some element of relief. It doesn't have to be the deepest. You might not be ready to take that full stretch, and we'll do a deeper hamstring stretch later on when we're completely supported by the floor for the spine. So here, bring a little bit of relief into the back and keep the belly and the thighs together. Even though you're sacrificing some of the strings, it won't be as onerous a task for your back body. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Engage the core all the way up. Beautiful. And then we'll open the legs up nice and wide. So just swing it around here as we come into a wide leg stance. And sit up nice and tall. So we've done some back bending, time to balance that with some forward folding and some twisting and turning. So we'll start just by hinging forward. Now if you need to grab something to elevate the seat here, or you need to scoot your booty back, that's fine. Bring a bend into your knees if you need to. If the hamstrings are too tight for this to be a particularly comfortable pose, we need to find the forward movement. If you're rounding through the spine like you're slumping in a chair, that's actually not going to give you the benefit that we're looking for here. So it's all about drawing yourself ever so slowly into the future. Slowly, slowly tiptoeing those fingers down and not going beyond 60% and then just pausing. So we know that if we jam to 100%, that's when we're most likely to injure. It's also when the body is most likely to resist. So we hit that myotatic stretch reflex, and that's not going to be very beneficial. But once there's a softening, after about 6 seconds, you might be able to invite your body to go a little bit deeper. Let the chin tuck in, create a lengthening through the spine by drawing the crown and the tail in opposite directions. Let your eyes close down and just let yourself sink into the earth. Continue to open across the back ribs. As you exhale, release the weight. Just work with the breath. A little bit more fiery work into the core. I always love the balance between a more yang style initial practice because it brings ease into these softer poses, these longer holds, because the body is like, I've done my fiery work, I'm warm and I've moved, and now I'm ready to relax. And that's that balancing of nature that we did as we started with our Nadi Shodhana, our alternate nostril breathing. Bring your hands in. We're going to take a side body bend. So coming into our Pavarita Jalna Sarasana. Bring the right hand up and over towards the left foot. You can press down to the left hand and maybe just swing that right arm around to give a little stretch into the triceps that we worked before. Now if it's too much to look up towards the elbow, really we're only looking up, or I find the intention of looking up to keep the spaciousness across the collarbones. So if you can maintain that and drop the chin down, you might feel that that's a little bit softer for your neck. Elbow can come down, and then we're going to breathe into the right lung. So I'm just going to smile and hang out here. Enjoy your practice. Breath moves in, and the breath moves out. Maybe you're deepening a little bit more. Breath moves in. Create that length from crown all the way to tail. Breath moves out. One more. Drop it down. When you inhale, we're going to rise, bring the right hand all the way up and over. Drop it down onto the left side. Bring the left hand up. And then just reach behind like you're trying to touch the place in between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Create that spaciousness in the heart. Maybe look up for a moment. As you exhale, soften it down. And feel the balancing flow of breath in and out, and let the chin tuck as long as you're rolling that left shoulder blade closer to the spine. And drop it down until you feel that there is a lengthening all the way from the left sit bone up towards the left ear as you feel the whole of the side body open. I can feel this morning my left shoulder is a little bit more restrictive, so the elbow won't come as close to the ear. That's okay. You just be aware of that, and throughout the day you can make those little adjustments just to lubricate through movement and motion those parts of the body that are stuck. Maybe take a little bit of a mobility release afterwards. Get a ball in there, go and rub against a wall. I just like to think of a bear scratching itself on a tree. It's the same idea. Get those little parts of the body that are tight and we release them out. So we're our most fully functioning energetic beings that we can be. Beautiful. Time to come into a little bit of a twist. Bring your left foot forward, scoop that right knee in towards the center line, up and over, and then plant your sit bones back down on the floor. Really connect your right foot to the floor and get your left big toe to face the sky. Swing around through the right hand, reinforce the spine, hug the left knee into the chest, and let yourself turn all the way from the base of the spine up to the crown. So think of the stretch being the full length of your spine. Hug yourself in. As you exhale, twist and turn a little deeper. In and out. In and out. One more. In and out. And then we'll slowly come back to center and we'll swap it over. Bring the right leg forward, draw the left leg in, hop it up and over, and hug yourself around. Plant your foot towards the floor and left hand behind. Lift up to your chest and then slowly, slowly let the gaze drift over the back shoulder. Work with the breath. The exhale is the invitation to deepen the twist. As the breath moves out of the body, there's more space to twist into that navel center. And the balancing flow. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, twist a little further, breath out. One more time. Breath in. And big breath out. Slowly unwind from the twist. We'll set up into a seated swan pose. So I'm just going to scooch it around so you can see that figure 4 shape. So the hands can come behind here just as you lift that right leg up. Maybe you're giving it a little assist. Maybe you're working through the core. Lift it up, place it on top. Now swing your right hand around, grab a hold of your left shin, and the other hand comes in. You can feel the leg it forward. If there's that availability to hop that left knee in, I can feel that there's definitely tension in that outer hip today. We're going to lean forward. Again, we're avoiding that rounding position through the back, like we're slumping in a chair. Then have the foot further out if that's what we need for space. Otherwise, you can have it in close if that's available. And just gently pressing that right knee away as we release out that outer hip. The breath down, in and out. Free up the neck, in and out, in and out. Let's take it a step further. Bring the left hand behind, bring the right hand and pick up the right foot, and then like you're doing a little rowing motion. Foot forward, pump the knee back down towards the floor behind. Foot forward, pump the knee down towards the floor behind. Pump forward and back. Pump forward and back. Pump forward and back. One more time. Pump it forward and back. All right, come all the way up. So you might want to bring the foot down, gently press yourself up. And then we're going to grab a hold of our, actually, give me a moment. Bring your left heel in towards the center. Now grab a hold of the outside of your right foot with your left hand. We haven't been to Chasana for a while, so let's go for a little visit. We're simply going to lift the foot up. Now what you're going to try and do is imagine that your shoulder is a backpack. Pick up underneath that calf and put your knee over your shoulder, which looks pretty impressive already as it is. So like you're just trying to put on your leg, maybe bring your right hand down, find the floor. Eventually you're going to begin to press that leg out to the side. You'll feel that this is going to really open up your side body. There's that garbage truck. Lift your chin up and just open out the foot to the side. Chasana, the sundial pose. For 3 and 2 and 1. Bring it all the way back down. Let's do second side. So we'll hop that left knee, or pick it up, keep a flexion through the foot, place your left knee on that right leg, hands behind to walk your chest towards your thighs. Swing the hands around. The binding of the fingers is going to be the connection point, and then it's like you're trying to massage your left knee to touch the floor. Get that elbow in there, give it a little bit of encouragement. All right, from here we just breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in and out, so just checking mic. Breathing in and out. One more time. Move it forward. Breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful. Let's take it a little bit deeper. Swing that right elbow behind. Use it to create a little platform to balance the body on as you pick up that left foot. And let's go for a row. So like you're trying to tap your left knee to the floor behind you, and then swing your leg up. Tap it down, swing it forward, tap it down, swing it forward, tap it down, swing it forward, tap it down, swing it forward. One more time, down and forward. Come all the way up, and we'll prepare for our Sarinam Yamchasana. We'll bring the right heel in, we'll bring the left leg up, and the right hand is going to clasp to the outside of the foot. Now imagine you're putting on a backpack, so really snuggle yourself underneath there. Snuggle, snuggle, snuggle. Bring the hand all the way down to the floor, and as you breathe, take your foot out to the side, reach and lift your chin up. Reach, reach, reach. This side's a little bit more stuck this morning, that's okay. You might feel the restriction is coming from the hip, maybe the restriction's coming from that side body, because there are many different parts of the body that need to move together to come into the full extension of this pose. Just notice where's tight. Gives you a little bit of feedback for your next practice. For 3. Do not imagine this is doing lovely things for our belly. 2 and 1. Bring the foot all the way back down. Just cross your legs here. So any comfortable cross-legged seat. You want to come into a full lotus. Your body will be nice and prepared for that, if that's a possibility for you. And just take a few slow circles as you release out through the neck. And particularly as we've worked through twisting and turning and opening up side body, maybe there's a little bit of tension in the neck here. Beautiful. Come all the way up. Just bring your right hand, just clasp and take it underneath that left side. So just cup your fingers underneath the left side of your occiput bone and just take your chin out to the side. So a little release for the neck here. I love this one. So it's an active release technique. So we're creating a compression with the fingers, and then we're just sliding the surface of connective tissue and the musculature over the compression point. Feels nice, right? All the way back to center, swap it over. Bring the right hand down, left hand in. Just cup your fingers, make a little claw, maybe, is the best way to describe that, underneath, and then nose to the side and chin back to center. Nose to the side, chin back to center. Moving with the breath. And back for 2. And back. And 1. And back. Hands come down. Find the earth. Take a deep breath into the lungs. And a deep breath out. Beautiful. Again, notice the shift. We've started with a little pranayama, a little bit of breathing technique. There might have been a shifting of your energy when you brought yourself into that part of the practice. There's another shift that comes at the end of our physical asana practice, where we move through the series of poses that comprises the physical element of our practice, we're ready to come into Shavasana. So we'll come all the way down to the floor. And you've still got 5 minutes if you're usually someone that has to jump off your mat at 7 o'clock to prepare yourself for the rest of the day. So swing yourself all the way around to the front. And when you're ready, roll yourself down to meet the earth. Roll, 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 roll down, hands over the head. Take a big, delicious, full body stretch and feel the breath move from the heels to the fingers. Maybe reach up through right hand, left foot. Stretch and take everything out. Bring it down, do the other side. Stretch everything out. Draw it down, relax, get heavy, let the body spread, let the eyes close. I like this one, it's called Hogging the Bed Shavasana. You might want to stretch out hands and feet. I'm going to let you rest here. I'm actually going to end the video now because we've got the garbage truck behind us and that's probably not the most restive sound. So I will see you in one of our premium classes or our live stream classes on Facebook soon. Namaste, yogis.